going on, everybody? It's Virtual Handhelds 24. Today we're going to be looking at the new Eden. We're going to start with Eden's fail. So you could get this at GitHub. I'm just going to test these settings out with you guys. We're going to do extended dynamic state, change it to 3. I don't know about these, so I'm going to leave them off. I don't know about that. I'm going to leave it off. This is on by default. This is on by default. Leave that at low because, again, if you want more performance, you'll leave it at 28. If you want better graphics, 512. You know, I would just leave it at that. That's fine. This one, it's default universal. I changed it to Adreno. GPU, leave it. CPU, I mean, we'll just leave it for now. Or, I'm sorry, I changed it to GPU because it's fast and recommended. But we'll see how that goes. I didn't touch that. I changed that to aggressive. I didn't touch that. I turned this on, then this turns on, and then you get 2 options. I put it to fast. Then this comes on, and then you get a value. You can adjust it. So I just left it there, whatever. I turned this on, figured that would help, and synchronized core speed, figured that would help. Don't touch this. You know, maybe in the future with a different chipset, you can increase it, you know, but 4 gigs is fine. We're not doing any mods, and we want the best performance. Audio QB. This we're gonna try out too. I turned in airplane mode, so it should help. You know, it's kind of like turning Wi-Fi off, I guess. And then debug, I have it to auto. I mean, we could change it to accurate. See how that goes. Graphics normal, I changed it to 0.75, and then all these are on. Then system, speed limit 400%. And then this is cool. You can now download, except this Mr. Purple 21. I don't know what the deal is, but you can't get the 21 here. You have to get it somewhere else, apparently. So that's awesome. Unless it's like, I doubt it's at the bottom, right? Or it might be on one of my other devices. I might have that one. I don't know. Regardless, you can download GPU drivers and install them directly. But we're going to be using good old revision 1 of 25.1. Or was it 25.2 revision 1? You know, I can't even remember anymore. I have to look back at my older videos. No, it's revision 1, 25.1, revision 1. And then what else? That's as far as I got with settings. Let's do Donkey Kong. Why not? And we'll see how it goes. It's cool because you could add all these things into your overlay, and then you can see it shows you the shaders building and stuff like that. Oh, and because of the grip situation with the Switch, I got this today. The Switch 2 controller, and I gotta say, like the plastic feels amazing, super smooth, and these joysticks are super duper like Nintendo was right about this. They are super glidey. The buttons feel like the same though. They're like those big buttons that have little travel. And these are, you know, not analog. This all feels the same. It's just gray from the regular Pro controller. Same thing with the D-pad, same. But these buttons right here, these are high. They're pushed out a lot, which is kind of nice. And then of course, I don't know if you can see, you get back buttons, which is a nice touch. So we could play Zelda now, theoretically, if I learn how to map it and then run around and still look. But it's a very small controller. I don't know where my Pro controller is exactly. This is my 8-bit Duo Blue controller, and I love using this for my PlayStation when I'm streaming, because it's just like a PlayStation controller basically without the touchpad, but it's got back buttons and all that, and it's blue. Awesome. D-pad's awesome. It's great for just 2D games too. But it's like, this is not a big controller. This is just a little smaller than the PlayStation controller, and it's like towering over this controller. So keep that in mind. The Switch 2 controller is very small. Alright. Oh Lord. Okay. Should be a way to skip this, and there's not. And also the firmware, I didn't go over that. I put 20 in, said didn't recognize it to use 19, so I went back and got 19. Just do the same. There's less issues. I did experience some issues with games that didn't work, and then I put 19 in and it did work, so. Y and X, huh? Now this we don't probably need to play at 0.75, probably play this at 720 if not 1080. I just love being in the water. Okay, clearly this game works. I'm not seeing any stuttering or anything. It's probably too easy to play. Alright, so let's get out of there. Oop, don't want to like that. Let's try a harder game. Let's go with this one. Now, all those crazy settings, I'm not sure, guys. I'm really not. They sound promising. They do. But I can't really say that it gives you a boost in performance. They all are so technical. But I looked online to see if any of these settings that you have in Eden's Veil, like maybe with a cell phone, but I mean, that's the same kind of chip that we're using in Odin's. It's just, I don't see a drastic improvement. So this runs pretty well now. I wouldn't say it runs great, but our frame rates go from 20s to 30, and sometimes it goes over 30. So it's a huge improvement, but that guy's glitching out. I mean, it still drops. The horses are glitching out. It's still not what I consider playable. And this is rough to run on GameHub or Winlator for the RP5. You'll get things similar to how it runs on a Switch emulator. Slightly better frame rates though. And I mean slightly by like, right now it says 17, 20. It's more consistent in PC emulation versus Switch emulation. It's just it's a bag of rocks right now. But there was improvements with it, like just running around right there. It's higher frame rates, so it's cool. But it's nothing like spectacular. And with all these crazy settings, it's just like there's no like drastic improvement I noticed. Like BioShock is really hard to run. And you see, like, I don't know if it's gonna load or what it may be doing. So exit that one. Luigi's Mansion 3 is always rough to run. See, I don't know. All these crazy settings, they might be working against me, and other ones might need to be turned on. But now, like games like this, I know work. And the other one we just tried, I know, like BioShock, we've been able to show that off and, you know, not get the best frame rates and looks like trash, but the beginning scene and the settings, they all work, and this one doesn't even work either. So, I don't know. It's gonna take more time, more tinkering, which I hate to say it, but I just don't feel like doing that with Switch emulation. Switch 2 comes around, that's gonna be a lot of fun, seeing what we could get working. But I feel like the devices that we have currently are not going to be up to par just yet. Maybe we'll get a few games working. What I really want is the update to Zelda, right? I want someone to rip that, throw it up online, and then just we get it, and then we use it as an update, and then see if that translates to our devices to get better frame rates and higher graphics, right? The only thing is just I feel like if even someone did that, it wouldn't correlate based off the architecture for any of these emulators because it's based off Switch 1. However, you know, not with this emulator, but with other ones, we've been able to push the frame rates, get higher speeds, and play at higher resolutions. Like Eden, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. They give you a lot of features that are cool, and then they give you a bunch of settings theoretically that are supposed to help. But as you've seen, like Red Dead, we got like a couple more frames higher than normally, which is great. But everything else like is garbage. And then on top of that, like Sadachi, there's a new update. I can't find it. Maybe that's been released recently. I haven't looked for it yesterday or today, but in the past week I have, and I could not find it. But Sadachi was like that was the GOAT for me. Citron was really good too. But then I got Sadachi, and I was like, man, Sadachi's just a little bit better, but Citron had a better compatibility. So Sumi's good too, but what Sumi is just, it's just a different version of Eden and Tutu that no one could get, and only so many people had it. Like I had it on a bunch of devices, but that was a really good one because it forced the game to load. It was, you know, gonna push it as hard as it could. So a lot of games did work on here, on the RP5. Sumi is exactly the same because when I tried to install Sumi on one of the devices that had the old Eden, the Antutu version, it told me to uninstall it because it was the same app. So, you know, slightly different though with different settings or updated settings. So I did that, and, you know, I feel like Sumi's still pretty dang good compared to Eden. And there's a new Nushu emulator. I messed around with that. I still think Sumi's better. So that's going to be it for right now. I just wanted to test out Eden with you guys. It does have awesome features. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like it. It's just, I guess I have to figure out more settings, but this this feature with the downloading the turnip drivers, you don't even need the Adreno thing to download it or look for it. You can just do it here. This is really cool. I do respect that. That's probably one of the best features about this emulator, is fetching the driver, and then on top of that, it tells you what device you have and what's recommended. Even though most people have Odin 2s and, you know, are selling them at this point, waiting for the next best thing, you know, it's kind of stupid that Mr. Purple 21 is something that is not offered by Mr. Purple here 20. It's not that we can't get it, or you know what I mean. It's just, and as a recommended, it's like, okay, I think I've used that in the past, but I still like revision 25.1 revision 1 more because it was getting higher frame rates. And as you can see, even with that turnip driver, this emulator doesn't correspond really well with it. So there's cool features about this, but it's overall kind of too complicated now, and it's, in my opinion, it's more tinkering, and that becomes a headache, just like RPCSX. Someone was asking for Heavenly Sword, and I'm still working on that. I have just got it over to my portal, and I want to do a comparison between RPCSX and was it APS3E, but the APS3E emulator, I don't remember, that one's a pain because it doesn't recognize games. You have to have it in iOS format, and I do have most of my games in PKG, and it still doesn't recognize it. So there's a trick to that, and I'm like getting annoyed with it. So it's just like, it turns me off on just trying to do anything with that emulator. But I want to see if the performance is better because I hear good things about it. And with RPCSX, it's a hit or miss. If you don't have the update, the game will crash. If you do have the update and you're lucky and that you have like enough RAM and a good chipset, you'll get, like, at the lowest resolution, maybe close to 30 frames a second, close to running full performance, depending on how heavy that game is. And I'm pretty sure that's like, I don't know, 16, 17 gigs. It's gonna be it's a heavy game. So I was like, all right, let's try out the new emulator. But then boom, right away, it's just like, nope, doesn't recognize the game. I'm like, come on. And then I think I downloaded an iOS format, and I just haven't tinkered with it with that emulator yet. I just haven't done it. I was too focused on other stuff with Game Hub. But stay tuned. I'll get something else going. This too much money. This was open box and still too much money, but I just give up on getting a case for the Switch 2. So plus I got the monitor, and it feels great. There's no doubt about it. It feels awesome. I do like the contrast too with the gray. You know, the only thing I don't like about it is it's Nintendo, so it's like there's no tricks. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's no turbo, right? That sucks. That's like my main concern. Other than that, as long as these back buttons are programmable, which I'm sure they are, because why else would they be there? I have to figure that out on my Switch 2. I'm straight with this, because again, like the turning, and it's with Zelda, jump, run fast. You could just run fast down here, you could jump down here, and then you could just use these to move and then shoot with your arrows and stuff. It's so much better. So we'll definitely get a video going with this in the future. But yeah, that's gonna be it for right now. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.